Surrendering control to receive. It sounds so counterintuitive. So many of the different things that I talk about related to love and relationships are deeply counterintuitive. And so this is the invitation as you listen to today's video. I'm Jen Michelle. For those of you that I have not been introduced to before, I release a video each week and would love to invite you to subscribe to my channel. So, surrendering to receive. In a world where we are taught to grip and control and to go after and make happen, it sounds like a foreign concept to many. And so I'm going to guide you in this video to ways in which you can dip a toe into this practice and start to feel a different level of magic and connection in all areas of your life as a result. It really does evoke feelings of aliveness, of being able to receive in this really delightful way where we feel more ease and more joy in our bodies versus feeling so resentful and overwhelmed, like we have to make all of the things we desire in life happen somehow ourselves. My first sort of invitation in beginning to surrender is soften. Bring in some body awareness. Notice where in your body you are gripping, you are holding, you are contracted. Notice those energetics that are alive. Notice if you feel just layers over your heart or just over your whole frontal sort of body. And notice the different masks and identities and roles you play, all of the things that you do and that you force to happen when really there's parts of you asking for rest and replenishment and stillness. And of course, I know that we can't just give ourselves these things whenever we want, but it's about bringing an awareness and a balance in the ways that we can. And even just the act of being aware of where our body is contracted and hardened and allowing that softening. Maybe you've got like your fist all tight and just like opening the palms of your hand. I like to do this within my stomach where I tend to hold tension, like just soften my belly, soften my shoulders, my jaw. Like where am I being invited to surrender as I loosen and free up the energy that I'm using in my body that's not necessary. So in this alone, our emotions can follow. It's kind of like the idea if you're angry and you're making this fist, you're more contracted and you're more like tapped into the resistance, but you start to soften and open. It's like, okay, now maybe you're inviting a different perspective in. Maybe you can let that thing go. Maybe it's just no big deal. It's not worth it. But you, as you open your body, you really trigger this connection of where you are then being invited to follow in terms of making your next step or your next move. And so this is such a powerful way to begin to bring in that deeper mind-body awareness. Number 2, get out of your own way. And what I mean by this is, where are you being asked to let go of control? Where are you stepping in where you just don't need to be stepping in? I've thought about this in my own life, and an example would be if I ask my husband for a favor or to do something with the boys. Instead of receiving the gift, sometimes I'm like, oh, can you make sure they don't eat this? Or can you make sure that he wears that shirt? And instead it's like, no, like, can I back away and just allow what needs to unfold? Can I just trust him? Because he is a solid, trustworthy man. And so, of course, I'm speaking to someone whose decisions that overall you trust, but you're seeing within that, there's like many, many different paths to a destination. And so you're considering all of this versus feeling like you have to have things your way, because this is what I mean by getting out of our own way. If you feel like you're having to always like manage and control things so they're just so, or there's not 20 different ways, but there's only one, you're going to find yourself feeling very depleted and resentful. And it's a hard truth that it's often because these control mechanisms are preventing you from truly receiving help, guidance, support, love, care from another. And as women, it's so powerful and healing for us to receive and to allow that in and to be gracious and to feel that gratitude as a frequency within our body. And of course, men fall in love when they're giving to an open and receptive woman. But if we can't receive because we're too worried about how he's going to do it and if he's going to do it right, we are blocking our blessings quite literally in these ways. Number 3, I encourage you in this practice of surrender to not pull from the memory bank what's gone wrong in the past, experiences you fear, beliefs you've been told and taught. If you're pulling from the memory bank, you're going to tend to loop the same scenarios that you fear could happen again. It's a very limited lens. And this is like the lens of bringing the past into the present. And we almost set ourselves up for this like self-fulfilling prophecy because we're creating from this fear of the past repeating itself. Whereas if we're sourcing from this space of being held and relaxed in the divine, God, source, universe, whatever this may mean to you, when we're sourcing from the divine and the infinite possibilities that exist within the divine, we're opening ourselves up to new information, new gifts, a new level of spontaneity and surprise that we never would have had access to from the mind. And so can you rest and be held in something bigger than yourself? Or do you feel like you have to be in the driver's seat? This is an important, humbling, and confronting question, because in my coaching work, when I observe a woman who is sourcing from something so much bigger than herself, she has a level of safety and embodiment that is quite beautiful. But when she's sourcing from trying to circumvent the fears of the past repeating themselves, she's often resentful, tired. The heaviness shows in her expression and on her face. And so the invitation is to become that barefoot little girl again in the sundress, running in the meadow with her laughter and carefree spirit alive. This is what happens when we begin to allow the gift of surrender in. So I would love to hear how this video supports you in any way. And this is an invitation that I don't hold open often. I do it a couple times a year. I do have my Awaken Through Surrender membership, which is a community of beautiful women really looking to heal in all aspects of love, life, and womanhood. And we bring a myriad of different subjects and topics into the space. You have plenty of opportunity to share your unique questions. We have live calls and daily videos and resources, as well as a library of over 70 hours of content. If this speaks to you, I'm going to link the application for this below. Please be detailed if you do apply. I like to really get a sense of who's a good fit for this offering. And I invite you, if it speaks to you, to please apply. And I will be in touch with you, or my assistant will be in touch with you to move forward from there. Have a beautiful week and see you all soon.